Dude, how did you get here? What got you into entrepreneurship? What got you into business?
I came to this country because of freedom of speech, and now they're taking it away in 2019, 2020, when I saw the President of the United States getting kicked by a intern in Twitter. So I was like, no way. I'm just gonna build something that nobody else can kick you out. When Mark Zuckerberg built Facebook back in 2004, it was beautiful. Idea was amazing, connecting people together. But now it turns into becoming a marketing broker platform. We turn from a technology company, a social media company, into a movement.
I told my dad, Parler is going to be huge. And he said, why? He said, because they believe in what they're doing. How do you find the right people?
They find you. You don't look for them. They find you. Just like money. You don't look for money. It looks for you. If you think about Steve Jobs, when he built Apple not to make money. He built Apple to solve problems and convenience.
Something
people.
Bigger than the money.
Look at Apple now.
Right.
Money comes later.
You have single-handedly probably been the most encouraging person I've met in 2025. And it's been this it's been a good journey, but it's taught me a million lessons. And then talking to other entrepreneurs in Michigan or on the podcast has been good for me because a lot of times it can be really lonely. Mm-hmm. Like you've been grinding, and then the payoff hasn't happened yet. Yeah. And it's really easy just to that's it. I'm getting a 9 to 5, or you think you're about ready to close a big client and they push off or something
Every day I wake up in the morning, I always think about it this way. The stress that you go through. So you're any entrepreneur starts a business or start an idea. It's always grinding, and it's always failure every day. You don't see success at the beginning. You see it at the end.
Yeah.
It's like I told you, it's like an Indian movie. I don't know if you've seen Bollywood movies, but they always get on the movie and it's always sadness and it's always depression. And then at the end is always, that's always the entrepreneur journey for starting a business. But it always ask yourself, it's just what are you trying to do in life? What's your goals in life? Because what you measuring as a failure could be a success for someone else. Mm-hmm. And it's always that goal that you put yourself into this fancy world that's I'm just going to be a billionaire in 6 months. Okay, good luck. If you can have the capacity, if you have the... So you always ask yourself, it's I want my goals in life to be 60 and not working for someone. Mm-hmm. When I started my company back in 2012, I always thought about it this way. And I'm what is my goals in life? I want to help other people. Mm-hmm. And when you set that goal for yourself, you want to help other people, all your life, you're set. Why? Because if you have $1 million and you give it to 10 people, that's $100,000. Okay. Those 10 people will become another 10,000, another 100 people, they go become another million and another million. The network grows. This is how your network grows. But if you take that $1 million for yourself, it's going to always stay $1 million. To grow it, you have to grow it through people. That's connection, that's network. So being an entrepreneur is a curse. And mostly it's because you are in the building mode for a long time. But the best part about it is that you always look at yourself, and if you're solo, and if it's all about yourself, you will be successful at some point, but it's not going to be a long-term success. So team is the most important elements for success in any entrepreneur's business life ever. The team. So when you wake up in the morning and you know that you have someone that got your back, partners and anything, and you always fair to them, that's the pillar of success. Any idea in this world will work. Anything. You want to sell napkins, it makes money. You want to sell elastics, Band-Aid that comes from China, you'll make money. It's all about how you do your distribution and how you get your network and grow your network and all of that. So in any business, you define your goals in your life. And if you know that you achieve them and be grateful, oh, I've accomplished that. And you always look back and it's like, oh my God, 10 years ago, I was nobody. Look at me now, you know? So it's for me, it's just like, what are your goals in life and what you're trying to accomplish? And the secret sauce for any entrepreneur is that you get into the business, just jump in, take a risk, have a good team, have an idea, and don't worry about it. It will work. It will always work.
How do you find the right people?
They find you. You don't look for them. They find you. Just like money. You don't look for money. It looks for you. You chase people. You'll never find them. They always find you. And if you keep hunting for people, it's just like keep hunting and searching for money. You will never find them. So when I started my company, people come to me. You just sit there and tell them your idea, and they just join you. And the best investment you make is that you make an investment in people. It's like, hey, I can't pay you now, but if you stick with me for a year or two, you grow it. And the best advice is to be honest with anybody. Honesty and integrity. Your reputation is the most important thing ever. That will keep you forever happy. So
it's funny you say that. So for those that are listening, we have producer Isaiah sitting back over there. And he told me that, what about a year ago, Isaiah?
Yes, sir. About a year ago.
About a year ago, Isaiah was a server at a restaurant and he met Yasser. Yasser was the first table you served, something like that?
Yes, sir.
And I listened. And Isaiah told me that he said he served your table and apparently you said something about the company or something. And Isaiah said, I want to work with that guy one day. And you have this ability to attract people. And then it's the same with me. Like I met you at AmFest. You painted the vision of what you guys were doing. And I'm like, I don't know how, but I want to be involved.
Yeah.
How is this something that you've learned over time? Was there a mentor? Has this just been how you've been, just the ability to attract good people to your organization?
And I'm going to say it again, honesty and integrity. If humans are smart, if they sense honesty in you and integrity, no matter what you tell them you were selling, they would come join you. You can think of a crazy idea and you walk into a bunch of people in Starbucks and you tell them about it. They would believe on you. How you say it comes from the heart. People connect to the heart and people can smell bullshit from a mile away.
Yeah.
So, funny you brought Isaiah and you brought yourself, John.
Yeah.
John is my neighbor.
Really?
Yeah.
Willis?
This guy.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
So, and John is a very quiet neighbor that doesn't talk. And I always and we know each other for 2 years living together. And then I'm like, I brought John. I'm like, John, come in, man. What do you do? And then I'm like, what do you do? And then I'm like, and then I was like, hey, man, you can come and help me. And John is busy. He has a lot of clients. He's like, I'll come and help you because he felt that I'm genuine of what we're trying to do. So it's about honesty and about believing in people. Because here's the thing is that I'll tell you a story is there is so much distraction in this world beyond anything you've ever seen. And to have focus on what you want in life is a pillar of success. So back in the days in the Romans, when they were conquering the world, they come back and with all these golds and all these jewelries and all these ritual that they brought from all these countries that they conquer, they walk in and the people are so poor and they see this and they get so excited, but Caesar don't give anything. So they get so mad and so angry and they revolt and they want to break up and they want to do a lot of crazy stuff. And then, they go to the Caesar and say, Caesar, people are mad. They're poor. They can't find food. And we walk with all these stuff to them and they don't get anything. He goes, you know what he says? Is bring the circus. So they go to the Colosseum and people just go there and forget everything. Why? Because he distract them. So what you see right now in the world is a big distraction for everything. You used to go look at TV. You look at movies. You look at sports, entertainment. I'm not saying that we don't need to be in all of that, but it's all distraction. And what you learn from it distracts you from your daily life. So if you have 24 hours, you sleep 8 hours, you have 16 hours left, and you sit there and you start looking at what I need to do in life, and you focus. You need 4 hours a day to focus. You become very successful. Now, if you go nights, clubbing, restaurants, watching sports, watching all of that, I'm not still saying don't watch sports, but I believe in recreational sports, but sports for yourself. You will focus on your, and I'm talking about entrepreneurs.
Right.
I'm not talking about public. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about everybody like sports, like the Cowboys. I'm a big Cowboy fan. And it's just when you start building your career, you have to focus.
Yeah.
Now, if you wake up in the morning and you have nothing else to think about but yourself and your goals and your success and your loved one and your family, and you focus on that, and you understand that you're in a building mode, in a construction mode for 4 hours, any idea that you have and you believe in it, and you find the team, trust me, it become a big success.
It's like, what Kobe Bryant said is like, it's impossible to find someone that works harder than me,
Actually, that is not true, because I would say I have found people working harder than me. And what I do is delegate and basically
work smarter, not harder.
No, it's not that. It's never been, everybody's smart in the world. I respect everybody's smart in this world. It's how you delegate and prioritize. Because people don't know how to delegate and prioritize. An entrepreneur and a CEO of a company, best job for them is to delegate and prioritize. This is important, but this is more important. This is important, but this is more important. Delegate that to this, delegate that to this. So you're like playing a symphony.
Do you think that's what keeps entrepreneurs from growing?
100%.
Is the lack of, maybe it's because they feel like their idea is their baby and their company, and they want the control. And so they don't delegate what they need to scale.
Biggest example I'll give you is Apple. Steve Jobs. Apple is the biggest startup company ever. They don't have VP reports to a CP, a report to CEO, a report to BEO, report to a CFO. They have a flat structure that all report to Tim Cook or Steve Jobs. So if you look at Apple, for an example, same thing with AWS. There is no, this is the boss and I'm going to make sure that everybody follows this. No, it's human innovation comes from trusting in them, believing in them, let them innovate. That doesn't mean you're the crazy guy and telling, hey, let's go to the moon. Sure. We're going to take a bus, go to the moon. No, I'm talking about reality. When you have smart people, and again, everybody in this world is smart. Don't think about IQ. Everybody is smart. We are God's creation. He made us way smarter than the rest of the humanities and most of creations. We're smarter than any other creation that's been ever built in this world. I mean, look at the Egyptian build the pyramids.
Sure.
Till this minute, they think the aliens built it. Right. No, it's not. I'm Egyptian and I know that it was built by humans. But when you look at the entrepreneurs and the business world, you look at success, and it's always the CEO that delegate and prioritize. And if you don't know how to delegate, then you grow amazingly, but you come to the point that you can't scale. And when you stop scaling, your business become a year or two and it's gone. And again, everybody builds a business or a company. They always build it for a small reason, which is to make money. If you think about Steve Jobs, when he built Apple not to make money. He built Apple to solve problems and convenience.
Something bigger than the money.
Look at Apple now.
Right.
Money comes later. And if you build something, you always build something that you believe in is going to make lives for other people Way, way much better.
Are you familiar with Simon Sinek? So Simon Sinek is a I don't know, he was like a philosopher, business, whatever. And he says, find your why. That's what he coaches. It's like, why do you do what you do?
Yes.
It's not the what. Find your why. What gets you up in the morning? What, like, why do you want to make money? Like, what's the why behind everything? And that's kind of his coaching, is being like finding your why. I think he has a book called literally Find Your Why.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Why is a question you ask yourself. But there is one thing that you have to think about, that do not question the universe. The minute you start questioning the universe, the minute you start questioning why you're here and not knowing why you're here, that means you haven't found your purpose yet. The minute you find your purpose, don't question. Know your goals, know your purpose, have very clear paths to the future. The people that question why, I like that. I always question why, but at the same time, I came into the realization that I'm done with questioning why. I know why I'm here. I know what I'm doing. I know what's next 10 years.
And it's go time.
And it's go time. It's building time. It's energy. So when you can't find purpose in life, yes, you ask the question, why? But the minute you find it, it's go time.
Yeah, go.
Now, you sit here and you know your goal and you believe in it. Waking up every day knowing your goal, you ask yourself, is this truly what you want to do? Now, if you have people around you that's questioning that, and you worry about other people questioning it, there is nobody in this world, nobody will ever come to you and says, this is the right goal. This is yes. You got your answer. That's not, anybody will come to that level because that's God. Now, you look at yourself and you ask yourself, it's like, you know what? I know my goal. My goal is to make $1 billion in 10 years. You're going to make $10 billion in 10 years. And you reach that goal, but you find yourself not happy. So I'll go back and Zach, why I found it. And my goal is to be happy. Money doesn't make you happy. Money does not buy happiness. What buy happiness is take that money and spend it on other people and make them happy, because that's what
you find fulfillment in.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'd love to, if you wouldn't mind, I don't know anything about your story, man. I don't know. Like I know you have been, and I think the audience knows, I've mentioned your name before in another one of my shows. You have single-handedly probably been the most encouraging person I've met in 2025.
Thank you.
And, doing insurance sales since 2018, wanting to get this podcast off the ground, KJ reaching out to me via email and before AmFest, and then meeting you guys has breathed life into the possibility of a dream happening.
Yes.
And so I want to thank you. I wanted to thank you on the show, because you, like, my wife will get teary-eyed talking about everything you guys have done for us. And so I appreciate that a lot.
Absolutely.
But dude, how did you get here? Like, what's your story? If you wouldn't mind being like, what got you into entrepreneurship? What got you into business? Did you, you said you're from Egypt. What brought you to the States? How did that all, where do you want to start in your story? I'll leave that up to you.
So I start my story that I grew up in Egypt, and in Middle East, we always have that fascination about Americans. And we always look at Americans as something that so fascinating for one reason, freedom. And every single country in the world, they see freedom in a different way, except Americans. They see it in a completely different way. Like, the world is this side, the Americans on this side. It's just fascinating. So when I was a kid, my grandma and grandpa, they're all in politics, and we always look at George Bush and the Russian American Cold War, and we grow up that, Americans, they have this integrity, and I was always fascinated by how, you wake up and you look at a country that is leading the world by example. And so I just decided in the 90s to leave Egypt and come to America to pursue my career. I had a master's degree in computer science, and I said, I want to come to the United States to finish my studies. I came here and I was like, okay, you know what? I think I'm going to work. I would try schools that didn't like it. And I said, I'm just going to go to the enterprise. So I started my job in Microsoft back in the 90s. And I started growing my career, and I start going into companies, AT&T, Cisco, all of these big enterprise. And then I just said, this is not working. I want to build something different. And in 2012, I start realizing that building your own company, building your own career, fulfilling your dreams is where I think I was meant to be. I started in the cloud. I'm a technologist in the cloud and start building that company. And then in 2019, 2020, we saw what happened with social media. And we saw what happened with President Trump. And we worked with his team to build his own social media. And at that time, I got fascinated by technology and social media. Why? Because I was like, wait a minute. I came to this world, to this country, because of freedom of speech. And now they're taking it away. And I was like, there's no way you tell me that this country is going to fail. It's too big to fail. But I saw that in 2019, 2020, when I saw
a lot of that, man.
the president of the United States getting kicked by I would say, a intern in Twitter.
Yeah.
They emigrated to this country, just like me.
Because of hate speech or whatever, their misinformation
Exactly.
or whatever
And
it is that
like
Donald
a
Trump did.
bunch of BS. And I think, look at the world right now. So I was like, no way. I'm just gonna build something that honestly, we looked at the president as an example. It's just like, how can we make sure we build something that nobody else can kick you out? So where do we start? Well, I had the cloud. Well, at that time, Parler was getting kicked out from AWS. It was like, oh, if we had Parler, they would have never been kicked out. So like, oh, wow. And then we start building the cloud and we mastered that. And we acquired companies and we acquired softwares. And then we built that cloud. We made sure that any social media company that would come to us and nobody will remove them. But we didn't have the name brand. And then we start hearing that Kanye West buying Parler. It's like, oh, it's available for sale. Let's jump on that. And then we acquired Parler in 23. And the people that we bought it from, Starboard, Ryan Coins, amazing guy. Love Ryan. He's like, what are you going to do with that? I'm like, well, we're just going to see if we can launch it. This is crazy. Don't be careful. The FBI and the DOJ is going to come after you. I'm like, man, this is a free country.
Yeah.
And I still believed in that. And we launched it in 45 days and people thought we're crazy. I had half of my team quit. It's like, oh my God.
In 23?
Yeah, 24. Really? We launched it in 24, February 24. And my team was like, you crazy. We're not going to, I was like, okay. Yeah,
so your team from the cloud and like your other,
yeah.
They quit.
Why'd
they quit?
Because they don't understand. It's just like they have 17 million people that change the history of free speech because you have January 6th, you have people that literally 20% of Trump supporters are Parler users. So everybody thought that we're going to just be a right-wing platform.
Right.
But they didn't know that we still have the left wing and the right wing, but they don't understand. There's no such thing called right wing. It's American people, American dream.
Yes.
I came here in the 90s when, Bill Clinton was accused of all this bullshit, but he's still the president and he still preserved his status. So the mentality was different in the 90s. And then September 11 happened and everything changed. So So anyway, so I was like, wait a minute, guys, wait. We have things to come. There's things so we start building the team, not thinking about right wing, left wing, liberals, conservative. It all made no sense at the beginning for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But when we start building the team and people come to us and we made the platform way, way much better, and we start attracting people that it's not about politics. Why? Because you have, for example, I'll give you an example. 75 million people voted for President Trump last year.
Sure.
Right? But there's 330 million Americans. Well, there's 65 million voted for Kamala. What happened? That's not even 55%. What happened to the 55% of Americans? They don't care. They didn't vote. They don't believe in politics. They just want their normal life. And what you see right now is a country is super divided.
Yes.
And politics plays a big role
in that vision,
which is not fair.
Right.
Why? Because people care about sports, entertainment, media, music, all of the other stuff. Why the media is focused only on politics? So we said, no, we're going to build something that is nothing to do with politics, but we still have the politics. And that's why we built Pulse. And now Pulse is something that allows people to come that really don't care about politics. And we start building other platforms, and we built PlayTV. And there you go.
Yeah.
Come in, and we start having pop culture stars, talkers to come to our platforms. And what we're doing is very simple, Dillon. What we're doing is focusing and building things for the creators like you.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you go to where? YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. Okay, great. But what is YouTube and TikTok and Instagram are doing for the creators and the influencers? Nothing but sending you a paycheck at the end of the month. But are they helping you growing your business? Absolutely not.
Right.
Are they helping you monetize from your content? Absolutely not, because all the content goes to them. So we said we have 126 million entrepreneurs, influencers in the world right now.
Wow.
126 million. They control 60% of the content that goes into all these platforms. How can we get 10% of these and give them the idea is that how you become an entrepreneur for everything you do and empower you to own your content, own your data, on a platform that's built from ground up on freedom of speech. You want a proof of concept? We'll give you Parler. For an example, it's one of our platforms. But it's being built by entrepreneurs that cares so much about freedom of speech and freedom of expressions. Because that terminology has been used by a lot of people in the wrong way. There is freedom of speech in Russia. Yes, there is. There's freedom of speech in China. Yes, there is. But the United States is the beacon.
Yeah.
And you turn off that beacon, the world will go into darkness. So that's why we believe that we have created the recipe, the perfect recipe for creators and influencers to come use our technologies, our gadgets, our big tech replacement to make sure that they will never be canceled and they own their content and they own their data. And their users they bring feel safe because they're part of a VIP club that don't get advertisement and annoying text saying, come on, buy this laptop and buy this bike, buy this, that, because we don't use that against them. So
how are you, there's going to be a lot of pushback to people that aren't conservative that still say, no, Parler is just a conservative app. And it sounds like, and it's funny, I put a post out on Parler last week and I basically said, hey, Parler community, I know it's mainly conservative. Would you be open on having people with other ideologies on this platform? And every single user said, yes, we would love people not conservative on Parler.
Good question.
So like, how do you work on rebranding that?
PlayTV. So same thing. So PlayTV video, short form, burst, long form videos. And, but I'm going to give you some numbers here. It's going to change your perspective about what we did with Parler. Parler, when we came in, was 95, 98% politics. We're 60% politics. We have 40% non-politics content right now.
Wow.
And this was in 1 year. So, yeah, when you used to look at Parler before, it was all unknowing, boring.
Same thing. Rinse, repeat.
It's about, presidents and about this against that. I don't like that, but it's all one way.
Yeah.
So the content is growing for non-politics. I'll tell you how powerful Parler is. We're in 167 countries in the world. We have,
really?
Yeah, we have people in Saudi Arabia. We have people in South Africa. We have people in Brazil. We have 10% of the Saudi population in our platform. 300,000. We have 250,000 Brazilians. So it is a global platform that is designed to let people innovate and talk and don't influence them as long as they're peaceful. And give them the tools that everything they need, but take out one thing. The most evil things that have ever been created on face of earth that made social media the worst weapon ever is algorithm. Take the algorithm away. Don't do ranking and don't do favoritism, and let the ranking based on the content. Then people will be like, this is genuine. So I'm not going to force you to recommend things to you. What you recommend to me is irrelevant to me. And you put me in a mood that I see all what you give me is what you think this is it. But that's not it for me. I want to see other things. So what we are doing with PlayTV and Burst is thinking about TikTok with no algorithm. Think about that. When Mark Zuckerberg built Facebook back in 2004, it was beautiful. It was brilliant. Idea was amazing. Connecting people together. What's better than that? I love to get on Facebook to connect to my dad and my brother.
Sure.
But now it turns into becoming a marketing broker platform. I want to make a percentage out of that relationship.
Right.
So how bad that is. Like you connect me with my cousin, but you make a percentage because you want to sell me something. So it turns out to be a beautiful idea, and it grows into that evil idea, which becoming a marketing broker platform. And then it start putting that algorithm. How much I make out of you is how become successful. That's why it's a $2 trillion company.
Right.
That's why they have 25,000 data points on every single user that goes in with AI analytics. And that's why Facebook turns from a social connection company into a marketing data mining company. So we didn't do that. And every time you go to any of these platforms, if you're not paying for anything, if you're not paying for a product, you are the product.
Yep. And they're making money off of you.
And what that means, a lot of people don't understand that. Okay, I don't care. Let me people, but how unhumane it is to take somebody's data and information about yourself, about your digital identity, and sell it to other companies. Like, does these people make money from that? Absolutely not. But I'm going to give you a free email and a free page to connect you with your dad in return of giving me your name, number, phone number, email.
Your likes, your dislikes, your
your food, where do you eat, where do you stay in the hotel,
where do you sleep.
But I'm going to give you just this little thing here to connect you with your dad. If you give me all that information. And then I'm going to take all of that and I'm going to sell it 50 times, 100 times. And then I'm going to go to these big brands and I'm going to tell them, oh, by the way, this guy, it's spying. It's deceiving. It's not. I know everybody will be telling me, well, what if I tell you in 10 years, you're going to be like Facebook? No, it's principles. Why? So we build it where we will never, even if we become maybe brainwashed to do the opposite, but we have built it. We put the secret recipe in our technology We will never be able to do that. Technically, we have to destroy everything and start from scratch. And that's why we brought blockchain.
Right.
That's why we brought Opio. That's why we build blockchain in our technology. So how fat we become, it will never, ever
change who you are. You can't, you cannot change the code.
Exactly. So we made it where, okay, Facebook started this, but in 20 years, Facebook had become this crazy, evil thing for a lot of people.
Sure.
How can we prevent ourselves from doing that? Blockchain.
And you build the rules and with blockchain, you can't change it.
Why?
Yeah.
Because people in control, people have their data and they control their data. It's called the decentralization. When you think about a platform like Blue Sky, I look at that and it's like amazing, brilliant idea. Jack Dorsey created that. Why are you laughing?
It's funny. Just funny.
When you think about Blue Sky, that platform was created with brilliant idea. Brilliant idea. It's like decentralization of social media. Great. I like Jay Graber. I've been trying to get a hold of her to see if she can join our movement. And she created this decentralized platform that allows people to communicate and talk. But how does she make money? How can she sustain the vacuum that's gonna pretty much suck everything she's doing without having to worry about making money if there's no advertisement? Okay, that's why we introduced blockchain. That's why we introduced the ability to becoming a bank, making people owning their data. And instead of taking all the data, let people monetize their own data.
Right.
And let them choose what they want to see, but give them a piece of it.
Yeah.
Imagine if someone comes into your platform and make money every day without having to worry about, being sold.
Yeah. And so just to clarify that for the people listening, and make sure you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like on Facebook, on Instagram, everywhere else, every action that you have, there's ad dollars behind that. And so like if you share something, you like something, that's why like when you talk about something and all of a sudden the next day on Facebook, there's an ad that you talked about. There's money being made off of all of each user's actions, right? But the user doesn't see any of that money.
They do. They see zero. They see battery life.
That's it, right?
So at the end of the weekend.
But what you're saying is we're going to give the user an opportunity to get a slice of that pie.
Of course.
We're going to say, if you're the ones that's because like we don't exist without the user.
Absolutely.
A social media company can't exist without the user, right? So we're going to give the user a slice of that ad revenue or that pie if they would like it, right? And instead of just completely cutting them out. And what you said earlier, like, yeah, good news, I get to talk to my brother, but bad news, Facebook knows everything about my life.
And it's no knowing. Yes, I like what you said. It's not knowing. I don't care them to know, but the sneaky part is that they take this data and they put some analytics on it, and then they start marketing this data to other platforms and saying, after they spied on us, they're saying, oh, this guy likes Nike and he's talking about Nike shoes. Let's go to Nike, sell it everywhere because so back into that point that every single company in social media world, they thought about the creators and they thought about themselves, but they forgot the users.
And without the users, the creators don't have anything and the company doesn't have anything.
So when you think about the users, everybody will be like, what do you mean think about the users? Think about when you have, I'll give you some numbers. 5.5 billion people uses internet.
Okay.
5.1 billion uses social media platform. 4.5 billion uses meta platforms.
Facebook kind of stuff, right?
That's almost 2/3 of the world population.
On Meta.
Yeah. So when you actually think about it, it's a machine for influencers and creators to make money. Great marketing, amazing marketing. But what about the people that use it? Can they do anything? Can they go to Starbucks, use points that they accumulated from Facebook talking to their cousin for freaking 5 years? No.
No.
People thought about this Starbucks. So Kudos to the Starbucks, turned from a coffee machine to a technology company. So when you go back to Meta and say, those 5.5 billion people that they made zero, you know, you had 125 million people made all this money. That's about 5-6%. What about the 95%? Can you create something that benefits them directly in their lifestyle and anything without taking their data? No. Their business model is designed
for data.
Yeah,
for data. Right.
And so I'd say how we did that in Parler and PlayTV and Burst and our technology is when we launched Opio, our platform is now we allow that 8 hours battery life means something. Means that you can go take a wallet that we created, which is Kaivo. That wallet, you wake up in the morning and you have a number that translates into a value that can get you something. Maybe in the United States, $100 a month means nothing. But in the world, that $100 can be enough to feed a family.
Right.
And the more we grow, that $100 become $1,000 and then $2,000. Which technology and which social media ever have been created that you wake up in the morning and you can go to Starbucks and get something from Starbucks
from your social media
from your social media.
Clarify, and that's happening because every action, like, comment, share, like, you're being rewarded for that because of the Opio blockchain.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I know metaverse was amazing idea to think about it. They did think about it, but they went to becoming a real estate world and the virtual reality of something that doesn't exist.
Right.
But again, you have to think about humans. So what we have become innovative because we thought about humans and users first and then thought about ourselves second. We completely reversed the equation.
Sure.
So that's why we have a better way of becoming more successful.
What gets you most excited about the future as far as, like, you have your Parler side, your Pulse side, your
People like you.
side?
When I met you, Dillon, I was like, if we have 1 million like Dillon, I think we're going to be the greatest platform on earth. Why? It's because what you saw in us, you didn't see anywhere else. I mean, you're a YouTuber, you're an entrepreneur, you're a startup, and what you saw was us is like a new home.
Right.
You feel home. You don't feel like you're coming here. It's like, how much? If you do this, we're going to give you a formula or I got a performance. So if you do this, and we're like, no. Yeah. We didn't look at you as a number. We looked at you as one of us without being with us. And when we met in Amfest, I looked at Amfest and I saw hundreds like you. They have their shows, they have their videos, and I look, I'm like, where do they put their content? Ooh, YouTube. Wow. Do they get anything back? No.
Yeah.
They don't. But YouTube, Google does. And I always liked that documentary movie that was made. It's called The Creepy Line. If you watch that documentary, you will know that the two acts of evil are Facebook and Google.
The Creepy Line?
The Creepy Line. Yeah, it's in Amazon Prime. And the Creepy Line teach you one thing, is that your information, not data, your information, or the most valuable possession that you will ever have. You will be the richest human being on earth. That if you value your information that you're giving away for free. So that's why what inspires me about you is that I feel like, you believe in us and you believed in us because you're smart and you actually saw it and you're like, wait a minute, why not? I joined these guys.
Right.
So we turn from a technology company, a social media company into a movement.
Yeah.
That we want people like you to join us and come to us and feel home.
Yeah. And I think for me, so even with YouTube and Facebook and TikTok, they set even parameters for creators before they can even make money. So like With YouTube, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time before you even get paid any ad revenue. And so like you could be, I can almost guarantee you everyone in that exhibitor hall, maybe 10% of them were even monetized on YouTube, because like the majority of creators that start a YouTube channel never monetize. I think actually 10% of YouTube channels are actually monetized.
And I tell you,
of those channels that are monetized, only like 1% of the 10% are making any type of money that they can live off of.
Well,
so the percentage is just like
worse than that. If you stop for a week being sick, you don't want to get sick. Your content goes degraded. You don't get anything. So you keep constantly working every day, grinding.
I remember when I finally got monetized, I had podcasts for 9 months. I was like grinding. And
and you stopped one day or a week.
Or I had a busy month. And next thing you know, you're building from scratch. So with you guys, and I'm talking more to creators that are going to be listening to this. The exciting thing is, number one, anybody gets paid through Opio when they set up their wallet, regardless of if you're a creator or not. But then as being a creator and posting on PlayTV, it's like you're able to monetize immediately through Opio, which is awesome. But then having a community that's hungry, like you guys believe in this. Like every single person at Parler I've met, like believe in this. And what I've learned in selling insurance is that if you don't believe in what you're selling, and you can't sell it. And I can tell when people believe in what they're doing. Yeah. And you find that people, I told my dad, because he asked me about AmFest, and the first thing I said is, Dad, like Parler is going to be huge. And he said, why? He said, because they believe in what they're doing. And I'm like, and I told the dad back in December after I left, I'm like, I don't know how, Dad, but I need to join those people, man. Like I need to be part of that, because when we talked and I met with Amy and I met with Brian and everybody, you could just feel it. There was this tangible, like it's coming, man.
We
like,
build the platform.
Hop on.
By the people, for the people.
Yeah.
That's why we believe in people. Humans are the best creation on this universe. That's why I'm an anti-AI. I'm an HI, human intelligence. I'm an anti-artificial intelligence. The human innovation, if you believe in humans, if you look at someone and you believe in him and you put yourself in his shoes and you think about what he think, you become honest and straightforward and believing in what he can do. Anybody, you meet any human being on earth, anyone, you can build anything magnificent. The problem that we have right now in this world is that why the world is super divided, why people get divided, is because every single human being on this earth, except the successful one, that they're smart one, they think it's all about themselves. Yeah. They are it. They are the one. Okay, great.
They are him, as the kids
say. They are him. They are I. So when you think of that way and you walk in, you think that everybody think that it's the world evolve around them, you have a problem. You have a gap. Because if you think that way, you become lonely. Yeah. When you become lonely, now you give yourself away to the devil. And what you do is that he knows how to hunt you and he knows how to get you alone. And this is what become depression starts, because the minute you be far away from humans and interactions and society and socialization and all of that, you become alone and you become depressed. So I say antidepressant is connecting to other people. Yeah. Not to believe they are it. You believe they are part of the world. You believe it's just like you're everybody else, and humble yourself. This is what we did.
And it's the belief that you need each other.
Exactly. Always needing each other. Yes. Always waking up in the morning. You will not exist without your neighbors. Correct. And that's why, a lot of people don't understand is that what made Jesus is he always tell you to go and care about your neighbors. Yeah. And love other people. Yep. And that's what made him most powerful thing ever exist on this planet. So, so that's why I'm always telling people is that always think about other people. Always be cautious about other people. And that's why we are growing fast. It's because we thought about humans as the biggest innovation in the world.
So as we wrap up, because I think Brian's coming in next and you have a million things to do. I could talk. We could probably do another episode soon because this is great. What advice would you give to the entrepreneur side of my show? So I started this show, as you know, interviewing entrepreneurs. So this is back to home for me, is these types of interviews. Young entrepreneur, even just looking to get started. What's from someone who's built companies, acquired companies, now have a team. How big the Parler team right now? 250 employees, growing very fast. What's a couple pieces or one piece of advice that you wish you would have gotten when you started your company back in 2012 that you can now give to someone that's starting theirs?
Don't chase money. Number one, don't chase money. Believing in what you want. Leave money at the end. And always believe in other people and focus. You do that, you can buy.
It's game over.
You can do anything. Literally, bring every single person on earth become successful. You give them all these 4 or 5 pieces. They will be everything they dreamed of. Don't chase money. Let money chase you. Make it the last resort. And believing in something, whatever it is, selling water, selling air, and believe in other people and focus. That's it. You can do anything. You think about ideas. Okay, technology. Okay, you want to build a technology company. Great. You've got a great idea that this little app or this little page and this little web page and this little technology can build things that makes things convenient for people. Think of any technology that has ever built those. Anything that was ever built in the world of technology, it revolves around one thing: human convenience. So you build a convenience, something to convenient people. Great, that's technology. But if you focus on it, whatever it is, and don't worry about money right now, worry about money later, and have a team that believes in that with you, and then focus. Focus. Don't be distracted. The minute you focus, the minute you're in the building mode, 12 months, make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But if you focus and you know those mistakes that you make and don't be distracted, brother, you can build anything you want. You can be the richest man on earth. So that's the recipe.
Well, I feel like if I ask another question, we're going to go for an hour because I want to keep asking you questions, but I feel like that's the best way to end this episode, at least. We're going to definitely have to do more. Thank you so much for coming on, man. And for anyone listening in, if you're not on Parler, get on Parler, find this show on PlayTV. We'll be everywhere. And you'll probably listening to this on Apple or YouTube, but come over, see what's going on. It's a really cool thing. You have some cool things coming on the Pulse side. Jason was telling us about a little bit as well. But thank you for the time. Thank you so much, guys. Please, if you haven't yet, join me on Parler. Subscribe to the show. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Dillon England Show.